Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel, and this is Best with Rita. So today we have a guest, Queen Esther. I'll be let her introduce herself. But today, remember we started a series on benefit of studying in Australia. So I have with me a friend that been in Australia for a long while as a student. So she's gonna share her experience. We'll be discussing the process of getting admission, movement to Australia, study experience, and then she will share her own experience as in the benefit, what she has benefited in studying in Australia and potentials in Australia. So I'll leave the floor to Esther to introduce herself.
Hi guys, my name is Esther. You can call me Queen Esther if you wish. I don't mind. I'm happy to be here tonight with you guys. And hey, girl, I hope we're gonna have fun tonight.
Mm,
Rita, I hope we're gonna have fun tonight,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, of
And
course.
thank you so much for having me tonight.
Yeah, I really would really need to appreciate it because you are my first guest in this collaboration series, and I'm so happy to have you here because we started right, and I know the rest process was going to be a smooth sailing journey. So I started a series on the benefits of studying in Australia, like I said earlier, and a lot of people have been asking me questions. So many people didn't know that I was in Australia. As soon as they knew, they started asking me, "What's the process? Did you get to Australia through PR pathway? Did you go to Australia as a student? What way did you go?" So I keep telling them that I'm a follow come wife. My husband had a PhD scholarship, and then I followed him here. There are so many ways to come to Australia, and the truth is that studying in Australia have so many benefits. So I'll be throwing the floor to Esther to share her experience. First of all, I want us to, to share the process of getting admission to an Australian university.
Okay. It's a wonderful process, actually. Getting admission to come to Australia. Uh, yeah, first and foremost, you have to do the English test. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very important.
Yes.
And to do that English test, you must make sure that you have your passport.
Okay.
Because without your international passport, you can't even take the test.
Okay.
So, and when I say the English test, I mean the IELTS,
Yeah.
the IELTS. So we'll we should be familiar with that. Yeah, so you have to take that test before
Mm-hmm.
any other thing can proceed. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, after you have written the test and you
Sorry,
pass
let
the
me
test,
pause there. Is PT also acceptable or is just only IELTS?
it depends on the country. Okay, but like for Australia, I
Mm,
think the most acceptable is IELTS.
okay.
PTE, I don't know if it's really accepted to come into Australia with.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you're in Australia and probably you need English for something else, maybe immigration purposes,
Yeah.
you can do the PTE.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm asking this question because I actually started my study while in Australia and I did PTE and it got me my admission. So
Oh,
I was just,
really?
yes, I took IELTS the first time I didn't get it. So I did PTE and PTE was easy for me to pass. So, but a lot of people and in so many countries realize that some don't have PTE test centers. So I
Yeah.
think here's the best bet.
So like it depends on the school, you're
Okay.
applying for too, because every uni has
Yeah.
like what they accept. Okay.
Okay.
Some
Yeah.
of them can say like, and I said the country too, very important, because if it's another country, you'll be talking of probably SAT and some other in the like ways of testing people to be for them to
Okay.
be able to travel.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to check what the particular unis you're going to be applying to. But I know that mostly IELTS passes for most of the unis.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, PTE too should be able to pass, but you just check the particular requirements for the uni you're applying to.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
mentioned English test, getting a passport. So what next?
Yeah, after you have passed the English test, the next thing is to get your documents ready.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need your certificates, your uh both the university certificate, that's your bachelor's.
Yes.
So you get your transcripts as well,
Okay.
and yeah, all those your first living certificate, WAEC, all your documents.
Okay.
You and you would also need like all them what are they called? Age declaration, if you have change of name, all those kind of documents, every single birth certificate,
Yeah.
all those kind of documents, you just have to get them all together
Yeah.
and
So what you're saying is that you cannot just wake up one day and say I want to study in Australia. You need everything. Like if you want to do an undergrad, you need to have like O level, pre O level documents. Um,
exactly.
excuse me. If you're going for a postgraduate, you need to have your undergrad document, and you need to have your life document like birth
Yeah,
certificate, all the achievements you've had, because all those is going to aid your immigration process, right?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so and at this time you know there are two ways you can apply. You can apply as an individual, apply yourself,
Okay.
and you can apply with an agent.
Okay.
So they're recognized agents for different unis
Yeah.
and Australian universities. Okay,
Yeah, guys.
so
Sorry, let me emphasize this thing she just said. If studying in Australia is what you want, I would advise, or we would subscribe that you use an agent, because most Australian universities prefer application coming from an agent, because they
yeah,
think they already understand the process. They know exactly. They don't want mistakes, to and fro correspondence with someone missing out and important documents. So we'll subscribe that you use an agent if it's schooling or study you want to do in Australia. So go on, please.
yeah. So yeah, you need an agent to help facilitate the whole admission process. And also, when you get your documents and all of them together, um, the agent will assess them,
Okay.
like, and also send them to the uni.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's also something I don't need to forget.
Okay.
So in the process of your admission, uh, the whole thing,
Mm.
you're gonna be asked to write a statement of purpose.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so that actually summarizes, like, it explains your educational, but in fact your personal educational, like it explains everything about you,
Yeah, that's true.
and
Yeah.
it explains your career path. How are you arriving at this course you want to do? Why do you want to do the course in Australia?
Okay.
So it helps them understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And also, you're also gonna be explaining that, hey, I'm coming to get more knowledge, and I'll be going, back to impact my country.
Yeah.
Mhm. So the statement of purpose, it's like selling yourself
Yeah. Yeah.
to, yeah,
It's like
yeah,
your
to
elevator speech.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
I did one and I wrote so many things. The process, my educational background, where I am at the moment, what my coming to Australia is gonna benefit them. And after I'm done, what I'm gonna use the knowledge gained, how I'm gonna use it either back in my country, or how to benefit the Australian society, or to benefit back my country. So this those you need to add those salient points to sell yourself, like she said.
yeah. So yeah, so after that, you'd also you pass through the temporary entrance or something like
Entrance,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
The entrance,
the
yeah.
DEE test.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you pass that process, then you also get into you get the admission actually. When
Okay.
you pass it, I think you get the COE, certificate of yeah, confirmation of enrollment, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So you get that.
Yeah.
Then when you get that, um, you are required to uh, get your insurance as well. Once you've gotten the COE, you
Mm-hmm.
also have to get an insurance as well,
Yeah, guys.
medical.
Sorry, Esther. Let me emphasize on that insurance. I like you can't study in Australia without an insurance. They have so many companies that do insurance. They have Medibank. Depends on the one. Sometimes some uni recommends or refer you to some, but just know that you're going to keep a particular sum of money to pay for your insurance because that one is necessary. Why when you are not a PR or you're not coming in PR pathway as a student, you need to have an insurance. They don't joke with health in Australia, so they need to be sure that whatever happens, if there's a breaker or if you have any health issue, you can go to the hospital on your own accord and get your health whatever treatment. So that insurance is very very important. Like paying for the sum up of the years you're going to stay health checkup insurance. So some people don't get to use it, some people use it, but just be rest assured that as you're saving money for every other thing, visa, keep money aside for that insurance. So Esther, I would like us to move. I don't know if you finished the for the process. Is there anything more you want to add?
That's mostly it, but like so we all know you go for the visa process and biometric and medicals.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't really want us to dwell so much on this process because we have so much where we're going to have fun, the benefit of studying, and you're going to share your experience. Yeah, so now we'll be moving over to movement, getting a flight ticket, and then landing in Australia. Share your experience. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, getting a flight ticket is quite easy because like it's not your responsibility sometimes. The agent will also assist you with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so once you get your flight booked,
Yes.
you then start arranging yourself to travel because you will need to like, get a couple of things to travel with because
Yeah.
over here if you don't carry some essentials, you get here and you're like, like my when I came here
Mm-hmm.
to study for the, came to Australia for the first time,
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, I didn't actually know that I didn't need to take some excesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually came with a lot of excesses,
Yeah.
that I didn't actually need. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought not forgot, I didn't bring the necessities.
Necessary. Exactly.
Like foodstuffs. People
Oh
think it's
yeah.
crazy, but it's very important
Oh yeah. Like
when
let
you're
me
coming here.
yeah, go on. Like my own experience, we packed so many books, packed the unnecessary things, and then our kg was more than the acceptable, and then they kept all our loads back. When we were supposed to bring in food stuffs, guys, I've
Yeah,
done a video on life abroad. You need food stuff. Australia is very far. That's why wherever we are in the end of the world. So if you are coming,
exactly.
think of food stuff. Forget about clothing. You can buy clothes. There are so many shops. There's Schema, there's Big W, there's so many shops. So you
Yeah,
can even buy online. So forget about packing all those clothes because even you're coming to a different weather. Even if the weather is similar, people here are to wear their clothes 3 months or every season. So clothes shouldn't be the priority. The priority should be the essential, like Esther said. Food stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very important. Very,
Yeah.
very important.
Oh
Ah,
my.
I came here without food stuff. I'm like, hey God, what did I do?
Oh my God. The process of adjusting. Hmm.
Oh,
It's not funny. So now you are in Australia and stuff. So tell us your study experience. How is Australian universities? How did you get to adjust? acclimatize into the university? Are they helpful? Is the process tough? How is educational system in Australia?
To be honest, it
Yeah.
is different.
Oh yes.
It is different from what we used to,
Yeah.
Like, it was not easy adjusting, to be
Mm,
honest. It
mm-hmm.
wasn't.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I remember it, it's like even up until now, I would
Yeah.
say it's not like I have fully adjusted
Yeah, yeah.
because it's challenging because you're in a different uh in a different space.
Can you share some experience?
Like
Mm-hmm.
studying biomedical engineering, okay.
Yeah.
There were times when I would be the only black in the class, in
Okay.
the whole class, you
Yes.
know, and you have different countries, the Asians, like the Australians, it's a mixed class and a big class as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you're faced with having to catch up with the fast pace, because they're used to uh this computer life, computer
Yeah,
age.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, like I have a little bit of computer background, but I'm not as good,
Yeah, yeah.
as
As advanced
everything
as
has to yeah, everything has to be done on the computer.
hybrid. Yeah. Everything here is on a fast paced hybrid. In fact, you should be ready to be, you must be self sufficient in Australian university.
You have to,
You
because
have
like you
mm-hmm,
can't depend on anyone really.
mm-hmm,
You have to, you have to teach yourself things. You have to like catch up.
exactly.
Really have to catch up, and it's challenging. But
Yeah,
like you just have to put in that extra effort.
exactly. Like I remember my experience when I started my first year. Holy Ghost. I saw bombarding of assignments with deadlines and everything. In fact, the first experience is that registration, every student have their portal. So if you're used to university where they have board, where they put things, forget it. Australian universities, every student have their portal, their views. So you can't even get information from any person. Your information is at your fingertip. You go to
Yeah,
your uni login, you get your views, whatever you need from your portal. So if you miss any information from your portal, you're lost. So you might be going here or you think there's class here and class is there. Like everything is just so hybrid and high tech and advanced. Like Queen said, you have to give yourself extra effort to learn. You do a lot of self learning. And then I had a lot of journals to write with limited deadlines. Guy, I was almost under pressure. In fact, the pressure, and again, like she said, I said in one of my videos that Australia is multicultural, multilingual, and very diverse. So you're meeting up with the Chinese, you're meeting up with the islanders, you're meeting up with all kind of humans. Sometimes it might be difficult to meet someone from your race or your culture in the same class. So you have to look for your survival mechanism to study in
exactly.
Australia. The survival mechanism have to be at the high tech because if not, who are you even going to ask questions? Just share your experience. Like, can you even ask someone question like, can you show me this? Just share your experience because I love people asking questions. Yeah.
You, like you have some nice people though, like
Yeah.
like people that are willing to assist you, well, but there's a limit to what anyone can do for you. you
Exactly.
know so you as a person, where you're coming from, and
Yeah.
where you're at. You just have to do that extra bit of work,
Exactly.
because sometimes you look like you're the dummy, like
Mm.
in the class, but you're not.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just that you're trying to catch up in a different environment where you're
Exactly.
not used to.
Mm.
So it will take you time to adjust.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the challenges like you'd face. Like sometimes some people would not even want to, help out. But yeah, it's normal. We have different kinds of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So But yeah, it's challenging, honestly.
Yeah,
Trust
but
me.
one good thing is that the academic staffs are very helpful. You can
Yes.
send 100 mail to your lecturer and they will respond. You can respond and say, whatever you taught me, I did not even get anything. And then they will give you an extra time to explain. Like they look for ways to help you catch up because they understand that their study is hybrid and self-sufficient. So they are open to helping. Like I know sometimes some of the deadlines I couldn't meet. I just send them a mail that I'm very sorry I couldn't meet up. Can you give me an extra time? And they were always very willing to give me that extra time. It's tough, yes. It's not easy. You need time to adjust. But even if you don't have help from your classmates, you will also can also have help from your academic staff, your tutorial, whatever, and whatever. So, but you engage in any group session because I know Australia have lots of group sessions in the academic system. Like in my own time,
Mhm. Yeah.
we have lots
They'll,
of groups. So in that group, you can survive because they divide into sub groups, so that you can,
yeah.
if you don't understand the larger group, you can as well as in sell your idea or understand more, discuss better in the smaller group. So did you have any of those group sessions?
Yeah, of course. There were a lot of group sessions, like it's like almost a part of the Australian system. Like you must always have like a group thing in one course or the other. Or if
Exactly.
yeah, so I think it's actually a good way to learn,
True.
because it's tricky, but like it's a good way as well. If
Mhm.
you've got good people in your team, it builds teamwork, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you get the right people with the right mindset,
Yes.
you guys can actually do great work as a team.
You can as well meet frustrating group members.
Oh
Ones that
my
are
goodness.
totally silent. Like sometimes I'm like, do you guys know we are in a group? Can someone say something? Like no one wants excuse me. No one wants to
Yeah.
say anything. Everybody just silent. Nobody wants to help. Like you can meet those kind of frustrating people. And if you have that kind of experience, just cheer. Take up the leadership of the team because the success of that team is everybody's thing. If you guys fail, you fail. So if you experience difficult team group member, just take up the lead and start pushing and pushing and pushing. But if you have good ones, trust me, you can relax. I know that you're having good grades.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like if you have the good ones, they propel you. You guys work better together and achieve, better results
yeah, that's
than
true.
some other ones. Some of them are frustrating.
Very. So let's move to the most important part. So I don't want to take so much time. Look at the time, we're already gone fast. So I want you to share your experience, like the benefits, what you're going to be throwing to our audience, our fans out there, what they'll be looking at for, like what can motivate them, because the idea is to motivate them to study in Australia. What do you think are the yeah, what do you think are the selling points for you that have made you to stay? Because some people come and then they withdraw and they go back. What has made you to stay? What do you think are the prospects in studying in Australia? The floor is yours.
Okay, I'd say first, um, this is Australia, and it's not. I'm not saying back home in Africa we don't have the right equipment, okay? But here we have, more advanced, a bit more advanced equipment, okay? So it helps you to have that, experience,
Yeah,
and it's multicultural. It helps you to meet different people of
yeah,
different culture, and learn more about their culture and everything. Make friends, network. It's also very good. Also, I would say that studying here, one of the good things is that after you study, you get to work,
yeah.
you know. You get that work thing, you get the work experience, which is very good.
Now let me come in that let me come in there. Is it possible to get job before you start schooling, during your schooling and after your studies? Is it possible?
Yeah, of course. It's very possible. Like Australia is a place where like you can do any job. Like it's not like you have to do it in your field, but like you can also have jobs here and there you can do to support yourself. You
Yeah,
know, you can support your bills and all of that. So yeah, you can work while while you're studying. You can work, even after studies. You can
yeah,
work in your field. You can work in any field you choose,
yeah,
as long as you find a job, apply for it. You know,
yeah,
it's possible very
yeah,
much. Like for me, I actually study and work.
yeah.
You know, and it
So they
makes
give
me
you
more
that way.
responsible.
Yeah. So what's the accepted time for a student to work while studying per week?
Yeah, in Australia, there's a 20 hour cap
Okay.
per week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that should be able to service your bills and all of that.
What if you go above the threshold, above 20 hours? Is there any penalty to it?
I'm not the immigration people, so I can't say, technically I'll leave it for the immigration people to
Yes.
to
So I hear there's a penalty to it, maybe for those that have will I say PRU or immigration potentials. Sometimes when they check all these your profile and they see that maybe you've overdone. I don't know, but I know that as you're working, you're paying tax, and who doesn't like the tax that you're giving to the country? But I know that, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, but
That's what I'm not gonna get into the all of that.
that's true. But in my university, like course director kept saying, don't go over your 20 hours. I don't want immigration to send me email, but I've never seen anyone that was sent any email. But he kept saying, don't go above your 20 hours, and if immigration contact me and blah blah blah. So let's just leave that for immigration people. But please, fans, if you're coming here, just know that you're gonna be working the student 20 hours per week. And true, like she said, that's gonna help you foot your bills or whatever. So what can you say about the weather, the transportation and the accommodation?
That is another challenging thing, the weather. We're
Okay.
not used to this type of weather back home.
Okay.
So my my people, it's
Mm-hmm.
not easy like adapting to the weather.
Okay.
The first challenge you have is when you even land when you when you land in Australia.
Yeah.
You have jet lag. There's this thing they call jet lag. The time
Mm-hmm.
difference and everything. Before your
Mm-hmm.
body adjusts to that,
Mm-hmm.
it'll take a while. You now
Yeah.
come to the weather, you know, when it's winter,
Mm-hmm.
oh Lord, it's
Good.
wonderful.
But it
So
doesn't snow here. It's just some few places. At least it's better off than Canada. What do you think?
yeah, I would say yes. It's actually better because we have places like Darwin that's hot.
Oh
We
yeah.
have places like Perth that's hot, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and the there are places you can actually live in Australia. The Sunshine Coast,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Gold Coast,
yeah.
yeah. So there are actually places that the weather is not so bad. But we also have Tasmania and all them cool places. So
So is
yeah,
accommodation expensive? Is cost of living expensive as a student in Australia?
of course, it's expensive. Like especially in Sydney, like in the big cities, yeah,
Okay.
it's expensive to actually live, feed, and all of that.
But how about we say you cutting your coat according to your clothes and living within your means? I'm thinking so because if you say you want to live a flamboyant life as a student, you don't want to save, you might start getting into this financial crisis. But
Mm,
I don't know. I stand to be corrected. I'm thinking if you cut your coat according to your clothes, and then like I said in my previous video that you could choose like a shared apartment at the start. Not that you're arriving in
mhm,
Australia and you're looking for a very big apartment that's so expensive. So it's just about reducing your cost to your income and not
exactly.
coming. Yeah, yeah. So I somehow want to just modify what you said because it's just about your perspective and how you live your life. if you live according to your means, you can survive. What do you think, Esther?
Yeah, you can actually survive if you just live like a very simple,
Yeah,
you're a student anyway, so like focus more on the studies, make sure you feed yourself and
yeah,
have a roof over your head. Basic necessities.
yeah. So
Yeah.
overall, can you say studying in Australia is a good thing? And is it something you encourage our fans, our listeners to look into? What can you just say to them? Because we've already spent over 30 minutes. What can you say overall studying in Australia? Will you encourage them if you are giving a scale of Canada, US, UK, Australia? What would you say?
Okay, I'd say yeah, Australia is not it's actually like a good place to study. Especially for people that don't want the too much hustle and bustle of like I'm just saying, like, personally I like the US as well, but
Okay.
like the US is going through a lot of crazy stuff right now.
Yeah.
So Australia is a bit laid back,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say yeah, it's actually a good place to. Yes, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
And Canada could be a bit harsh for some people, the weather. So
Yeah.
it just depends on your preferences, you know, as a
Yeah.
person. Yeah, I think you have more options though here
Yeah.
in Australia, and you're open to opportunities as well.
So can you give our viewers like suggestion of few universities they could apply to? Because sometimes people keep asking me what are the universities. I don't know why people don't go to Google to research all these things. It's on Google, yeah, but maybe if you have suggestions of some universities, like I said, Esther is in Sydney, like I'm in Sydney too. So Sydney have a lot of university where we have so many states in Australia. So don't think it's only Sydney that we have in Australia. We have Perth, like you said, we have so many other states with so many universities. But here in Australia, you can give suggestion of some universities that people could apply to.
Okay, yeah. You can apply to the University of New South Wales.
Mm-hmm.
You can apply to the University of Sydney. You
Okay.
can apply to the University of New England. You can
Mm-hmm.
apply to ACU. Like, there are a lot.
Western
The
Sydney University,
Western Sydney University, Macquarie
Macquarie, yeah,
University. Like, there's just a lot of them. Like Darwin University as well,
yeah,
Tasmania University.
University. So
Yeah,
many.
there's so many of them. So you just have to look out there, guys. Look
Yeah.
at the options available.
And
So
one
yeah,
very important point too that not every university study every course. So you have to look out for the university that study your course. And then to sum it up, if you have settlement potential or you want to reside in Australia after study, don't just we'll advise not to just take yourself to Sydney. Look out for regional areas to study in.
very good point.
Yes, look
Very
at
good
what
point.
area to study in so that it will be easy to have PRO pathways. I might bring Esther up again so we can be giving you our PRO suggestions after study. So, but for now, we've spent so much time. I really appreciate your presence, Esther. So, if you have any questions you want to ask, you can put them in the comment section. We'll be giving you some tips on our or some suggestions to university on the description button. So, guys, thank you so much for having us here. We appreciate you so much, Esther. We are
Yeah.
glad you will be bringing you again for another session, maybe another series to cover. But for the meantime, please, guys, like, share, subscribe,
Yeah.
and turn up your notification button so that you get our new updates and videos. Esther, do you have anything to say?
I love you guys, and thank you for having me.
Yes,
That's all I have to
so
say.
much. Thank you
Hope
so
to see you
much.
guys again
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. Thank you. Bye.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.
Bye bye.